To heal this country, America, is to prosecute and convict Republicans. All sorts of them, from Trump, Pence, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Kevin McCarthy, all of them prosecuted, convicted, and thrown out of government. They endorsed, they supported the big lies. The big lies. They encouraged the 6th January insurrection of racists, of Nazis, of Christian fascists. To heal. You know, you hear this thing, these Republicans now flipping around, saying, we gotta heal, we gotta heal. It's like to deflect, deny, just move on. Oh no. To heal is to prosecute and convict Republicans. Remember the Colorado wingnut, right-wing, just wacko who's got voted in just this year? And she is in the House of Representatives. And she, during the insurrection, is texting out. This is our 1776. Our. Who? The racists, the Nazis, the Christian fascists, who destroy your rights, destroy the Democratic Republic. She texted out the location of Nancy Pelosi to these rioters, to these criminals, to these racists, these Nazis. She should be prosecuted and convicted, aiding and abetting, and thrown out of our government. To heal is to prosecute and convict, and therefore set a precedent. Finally, a clear precedent, because this was big. The 6th January insurrection has to be completely prosecuted, and we have to have conviction. The healing comes from prosecuting and convicting Rudy Giuliani. Of course, disbarring him, but also prosecuting and convicting. He's standing up there saying, go fight it, go do it, combat. We have to heal by prosecuting and convicting the cop who killed George Floyd. To heal is to set justice in place. To heal is to place all Nazis and racist groups like Proud Boys, Ku Klux Klan, all those wackos, as domestic terrorists, and therefore hunt and destroy them. They are your enemy. Their agenda is to destroy this government and destroy your rights. It isn't free speech. You don't get free speech to be a Nazi. You don't get free speech to be Ku Klux Klan, Proud Boy, racist scumbag who are out to destroy and kill and maim. Look at their legacy. No. They are your enemy. It's time to make a clear distinction. Prosecute, convict. And then you start the process of setting the thing correct. You're cleansing the wound of all the virus of hate, of racism, of prejudice, of Nazi, of Republican. You're cleansing the wound that was inflicted by Republican. And then you heal. That's the process that we got to do now. Clear away the toxic, the virus of Republican, the virus of Trump, the overt criminal and lie machine of Fox News, QAnon, right-wing talk radio lunatics of Alex Jones and Limbaugh, who built the lies, the racism. You hear, they're trying to spin it out. These Republicans, oh boy, trying to deflect. Oh, just show it's time just to move on, to heal. So you never historically look back. You had the great criminal Nixon, Republican, and you didn't set the full prosecution and conviction, and therefore you'd have set a precedent, a legal precedent. But instead it just moved on. Oh, just let him resign. Let him just go away, get away. And you can't do that. You have to set the judicial, the justice, the ethics. You have to set the precedent. So that any attempt at mimicking that has the precedent, you're going to get prosecuted, convicted, you're going to be in jail. Even if you're trying to be the president of the United States. From Nixon, you went to the Republican Reagan, who, we found out, was cocaine trafficking as part of his Iran-Contra scam, bringing in thousands of tons of cocaine into the U.S. while he's standing up there with his wife Nancy saying, oh, just say no to drugs. And you let him off. Well, he just ran out his term. It was a mistake again. It just moved on and allowed that Republican criminality to do its thing and just get no repercussion. But it didn't stop there. In fact, it keeps getting worse. Because you go to Bush Cheney. Nobody thought it'd get worse than Bush Cheney. They bring in all their science deniers, deny climate change, deny it. Because corporations are busy poisoning and polluting you, and they are criminally liable for that. And so that's where all the money comes from the Republican Party, is from those criminals in the corporations, and they know climate change is real, and they are scared because they're liable. And Bush Cheney started to do that repression, denial of science, the embrace of Christian fascism. And then Bush Cheney did the illegal invasion in Iraq, the wreck in Iraq, of which you've spent, over $1 trillion with, and look at it, it's still a disaster. They broke international law. Treaties against torture that the U.S. had signed, Bush Cheney go in and they start torturing people. Criminals, war crimes, Bush Cheney. Big time stuff. And economically, Republican economics crashed you in 2008 to the worst economic collapse since 1929. That's Republicans. But again, you overwhelmingly voted in Barack Obama. But Barack made a mistake. They didn't prosecute. There was a call to say, Bush Cheney, prosecute him for torture, for breaking the international treaty, for lying to you about the invasion, the Iraq and Iraq. And again, they just move on. Time to heal, just move on. Mistake again. Each time you didn't have resolution and conviction, because all the evidence is there. Then you get it worse. And the next worst was, unbelievably worse, Trump. Pence. Pence, the Christian fascist. Trump, the Nazi, the racist, the corporate criminal. The very embodiment of what Republican really is. The destruction of your government to a dictatorship like Putin's Russia. And they build it all up with their lie machine, Fox News, and they are insane lunatics of QAnon lie machine, and the ongoing talk radio lie machine of Limbaugh and Alex Jones, who hate America, who don't want equal rights, who hate the idea of equal rights. They're so racistly bigoted. That's the Republican Party. And on 6th January, you saw it clearly. That's what Republicans are. Nazis, Christian fascists, racist organizations. All fed by who? How did they get there? Who brought them there? Oh, you're finding out that Clarence Thomas, remember the right-wing judge in the Supreme Court has been there since Bush Sr. put him on? A know-nothing guy. But he's a right-wing nut. His wife paid for 20 busloads of those Nazis and fascists to come in and attack your government. And the Republican Attorneys General group, they paid for these rioters, these Nazis to come in and attack your freedoms, your democracy. That's who the Republican Party is. To heal is to prosecute and convict Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, throw them out of the Senate, expel them from the Senate. Jail time should be part of the issue as well. They aided and abetted, encouraged an insurrection to try and put in a dictatorship of the scumbag like Trump. And of the over 100 members of the Republican members in the House, like the Republican wacko from Colorado and the Republican QAnon wacko from Georgia. They're the enemies to your democratic republic. They're Republican. All Republicans have shown themselves. Mitch McConnell, look at his history. Lindsey Graham, Rand Paul, Phony Joni Ernst, Chuck the Buck Grassley. Go down the list. All of them supported, endorsed Trump. Trump's racism, fascism, destruction of your government. Republicans, prosecute and convict. You want to heal this country? You have to set it on its correct structural basis of equal rights. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. To heal, you have to prosecute and convict these Republicans, these Nazi Republicans, these Christian fascist Republicans. It's the only way to heal and set the country back on its correct stance of a Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence.